Okay.
Sorry, we made everyone laugh just before we went over. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our regular Thursday slot After the Fire, our Game of Thrones Song of Ice and Fire role-playing campaign. I am back with just 3 of our regular cast this week. Oh, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in. Please take a seat and enjoy our Game of Thrones campaign. Tonight is going to be a very rambly, forgetting-y wordsy session. I'm 1 day away from retirement. No. I am 1 day away from Christmas holiday, and I am ready to be put down. Thank you, Susie. Please, stay with us. Thanks. Let's plead to God, Susie, help. Hi. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. It's an energy. I'm almost as well done with my working year. I'm going on holiday on Sunday for the rest of the Christmas period.
You're actually off somewhere.
Yeah, I'm
just sitting in my PJs doing fuck all.
Well, I mean, I'm fucking off to go sit in my PJs and do fuck all. And eat a lot of food. So I'm here for that. So I've got that good end of year energy going on. Gonna forget things as well. Tiredness, I think. It's just that sort of general end of year ennui is singing.
Good word.
You know, that floppy energy. So yeah, but I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. Millie and I have been screaming at each other for a week about various things. Jonathan Fry has been putting the fear of the gods into all of us as ever. And Tom has been over there mysterious, not telling me anything.
Don's just a stirrer, man. He's all mouth, I feel, a lot of the time.
Is he though?
There's secrets under those beard hairs lurking.
Fair enough.
Just flips it up. Secrets.
Oh, God.
Are there secrets under your beard, Tom?
Well, I mean, you'd have to look under to find out.
If I could, I would.
Yeah. I don't know.
This is an energy.
It is an energy.
Mm-hmm.
The two of you, ladies, you're all right because you can role play each other, and I get to sit back and eat some popcorn. But I got a role play with you, Tom. I've got an actual. I had to write down some notes. I had to prep something.
I'm sorry.
Millie, do you hear that? When we have our scene with Harris, he's just going to be sat there and we'll be like, okay, hands
like
up,
a little
please.
mannequin.
Don't listen to this,
like a little cardboard cutout.
Hello, it's going to be like Weekend at Bernie's.
Please.
With the Lord Paramount of the
Please.
Reach.
Oh,
it's not much different to the last one, to be honest.
No.
Well, I mean,
wow.
I like this one.
Yeah, we know.
We've had a couple of seasons of it.
But don't say it because Don might be watching.
It'll just come up in chat later. Wrestling.
It's the weirdest come on line. So do you?
Isn't it?
It took me back a little
wrestle?
bit. Yeah.
And then you fucking with oh, well, no, in Bravos, they're like knife play. And every single one of us in chat went kinky. Literally every single one of us.
Yeah. I didn't mean for it to come out as knife play. I mean, it was come out as
well, it did.
Stabbing each other with. Wait, no. Oh God.
This is the energy we're bringing tonight.
Yeah. Tom, have you had a nice time since you were last on?
No, not really. I've been ill.
Oh yeah.
I've been ill for about a week, which sucked.
Did you play Phasma on Tuesday?
I did, yes, and that actually really helped.
Oh, good.
That really helped because when when you're ill and you've been for a while and you're just done, right? You just forget.
Yes.
I'm done now. I'm just done. Forget this. Anything to stop me being whingy and whining about yourself, and it just helped. Phasma helped, kind of put my mind off it for a bit. I mean, when it ended and I was going to bed and I was lying in bed, I was just going, I feel terrible. Awful, but for those few hours,
they brought in Christmas games into Phasma, and that was fun and simultaneously filthy.
Yeah, we got.
Yeah, Millie, what game are you really good at again?
All of them.
The
I was good
champion
at both, which is a
one
metaphor in
particular
itself.
one that has rings and pegs.
Yeah, one.
No, they're not. But
The
then
laws of physics.
it's called ring toss or hoopla, but ring toss is worse. But you decided to christen it something else, and then it all went horribly wrong.
Or horribly right, depending on how you look at it.
There's a time and a place. I'm not sure on stream is either of those. I'm pretty sure that'll get you banned.
Okay. I will not
well,
ask.
We haven't
no
so
questions.
far with the Phasmo, so I think we're all right. One of these days, we're going to get Susie banned. I'm telling you now. 100%.
If it hasn't happened already, though, their standards are pretty low. So maybe, that's good.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe
they
we're
are.
Just not trying hard enough.
Yeah. Did you win any Phasmo?
Yeah, I think we did.
I don't think I have ever seen you correctly guess a ghost.
Hey.
Oh.
We've actually got like really what's the word? We're getting lazy with it now.
We are.
Because we went through a phase of getting too good and now we're getting lazy and we've got worse again, which is much more fun.
So you compare earlier streams of Phasmo to the later streams. Earlier streams were like, okay, let's do this. Okay, let's be quiet. We got to be quiet. Now we're just like, well, I'm fucking on ATF. We did as we're looking for the ghost.
Having rows about character stuff.
You know?
When I found that music box, I'm like, oh, hey, look at this. And then the ghost immediately killed Millie.
We've got no like hesitation to ruin everything.
Yeah, no fear.
Fair.
We self-sabotage regularly.
Yeah. That's what I used to tune in for.
Still there.
Well, it's back.
Still happens.
Still there.
Fair enough.
Well, the best cards we got now, they've got like tarot cards. And every time you pull, something random will happen.
Okay.
And naturally, you find the cards and you instantly want to just start pulling cards, and they can do a lot of things and stuff. But a lot of the time, there's some of them that can do an instant hunt. And when you've just found them when you pull that card and no one else in your team knows, and it just starts hunting, it's just awful.
Dear, oh dear. That's what I see the most. People dying.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, our turnover of interns is quite high.
Yeah. Any run-ins with HR lately?
I can't HR him while he's ill. It's not fair.
You do like
no, it's not. It's not due to sympathy. It's just not a challenge.
No. I mean, the bullying is still there, but no HR.
Yeah, I did have a word with Susie about her renaming of Hoopla, just because I didn't think it was wise. Because Tom's the sort of person who will completely innocently invite friends over for Netflix and chill without realizing what he's saying. So I don't think we should come up with alternative names for things that could get him in trouble.
God bless you. And apart from Phasmo, what have you been up to, Millie, that you can tell us about?
Just work. It's that time of year. So I'm getting ready to skid into Christmas with my wheels on fire, and I'm very growly at the moment because I've been burning the midnight oil.
All right.
But yeah, it's that time of year.
Yeah.
That time of year. Everybody's like, oh, we could never have predicted Christmas in December once more. Who would have thought? But there's lots of exciting stuff coming. I just can't say anything yet.
That's fair. Well, coming to a hastily made Christmas ad near you.
They're all hastily made all the time.
I believe you. I thoroughly believe you. What have we been up to? We've been up to Hexcrawl yesterday. That was a time.
Yeah.
I think Susie, let alone a character, is considering her position on the team now with all the murdering going on.
Flip on these bitches in a heartbeat. They're awful. They're awful.
There's no R going on about how he's the bad guy. It's like, no, it was Susie all along. It's like, fuck you, turning you in. Yeah. And I mean, we did Dragon Meat but that's old news now, really. A lifetime ago.
We're testing for late pledges.
We're
We're on the track for that.
We have actually got a staged pledge manager up, and we're testing it at the moment, just internally. I've done a normal pledge, and I've gone through the thing, and it looks like a normal pledge, and it talks the talk and stuff. So I'm very happy with that. All's looking nice. Obviously got to knock the corners off and give it a polish and stuff before we release it properly. But then as soon as we do, we will let you know. Yeah, I think that's about it. We don't really have any promos going on over the Christmas period. I keep dragging this lot into the idea of a Christmas quiz or like I don't know, festive quiz on the 30th, I want to say. Couple of weeks time. Yeah. So the plan, I think, is to have a week off next week, and then on the 30th, we should be back for a special quiz where we invent rounds for each other and then award points and just see what kind of shenanigans ensue. I've almost figured out my round, I think. It's a very Sam round. It's all about rolling sixes. It's not. The round's called "What is a Poison?"
It's alcohol.
Shit, that's actually
a really good idea.
That's actually a really good round. Fuck. Okay. Shit, I may have to rethink my idea now. That would be quite on brand. Yeah, I may actually change it. That's quite good.
No Googling. No preemptive Googling.
Yeah. No preemptive Googling. For sure. All right. We should start probably, rather than just patter away. Let's get the suspense music up. And obviously this week, because we need to catch up with it, I want to start with Enzo. Enzo, for the last month or so now, you have been travelling the Rose Road northeast. Not at a great pace, even though by now you are sure that you could have got up to King's Landing if you had actually travelled at a decent pace. Instead, you have been on the search for a special butcher. And so, taking the Rose Road and meandering off it, both north and south, you have stopped in at every tavern, every butcher, everywhere that you can get a lead, and you've left no stone unturned. Going through past the Ambrose lands, you find yourself now in between the Ambrose, the Merryweathers, and to the south, the Fossaways. And so you are not far from all of the kind of goings-on that are happening to the south of you. With all the armies and all those marching around. You, for sure, will have seen Baelor Breakspear, previous Hand of the King, and Prince of the Seven Kingdoms, the heir to the Iron Throne, marching south, down along the Rose Road, to Highgarden.
Okay.
Just trying to think. Would you have been particularly interested in that group, that army, that small army he's bringing south to hook up with Highgarden?
I might. Yeah, actually, I might to see if there's an exchange of information. So I could possibly tell him what information I know from Highgarden, and maybe he could exchange some information that he knows, possibly, that might be able to fill in the gaps.
Okay.
So just an exchange of information.
All right.
And, just want to chat to Baelor, share a cup
Okay.
of wine.
If you offer him a piece of information, I will answer you a question.
Okay. Now I have to. I have to remember what Enzo knows and what I know. So I got to make sure. So.
Well, tell you what, Tom, what do you want to tell him? And then we can figure out what Enzo knows. We can all pitch in and tell you know nothing. Shut up.
Yeah. I will tell him that that there is a force of roughly about 300 siege in Fox Hollow, and they belong to House Karen. And that House Greenmont is still loyal. What did I know about... Hang on, one sec. Sorry, I need to quickly just grab something and have a quick read. Very, very sorry. One sec.
What is this? What is this?
He's literally run. He's run from the scene.
He's actually done a proper
He's
runner.
gone method. He's gone method.
Sorry, just I love how like that could have been how it happened with Lady Faye. Sorry, just one second. Just one and off. Never seen again.
It's a cup of tea. It's a cup
Never
of
seen
tea.
again. Is tea that important? Was it just
Do you
a cup?
even need to ask?
Was
that
it just a
question,
cuppa?
Sam?
Was it just a cuppa?
Yeah, it was just a cuppa.
Tom Flakes, ladies and gents.
Oh my fuck, I love you. Oh.
So I'm trying to remember what they told me at Highgarden. It has been a while since I've been here. I think over a month. So it is a bit trying to... So did they tell me... So did Highgarden know of Summer Hall? I don't think it did it?
No.
Okay.
I don't think in our episode structure, I don't think it happened yet. Because you've been off.
Well, keep in mind
while.
that I spent time at Highgarden researching as well.
Yeah.
Okay. I think he might know about the push in Old Town that the rebel forces are trying to take Old Town.
Mm-hmm.
And they're having problems from within. So Costain isn't... Basically Costain's on the back foot in Old Town.
Okay.
And
what do you what do you want to know? I mean, that's one piece of information. So what do you want to know from the Targaryen's perspective?
I want to know are any additional reinforcements expected from other kingdoms?
No.
Okay.
This is it. He brought with him. Hang on.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Just need to go check something. No. I just need to check something on my screen.
Yeah.
Need my
I also would like
second
to give him...
Blackfyre rebellion spreadsheet. I
also like to give him a first-hand account of what happened at their wedding and how evil the Tarleys were.
Okay.
And that under no circumstances can you trust their word.
Okay, then you're definitely to blame for what happened. So not at their wedding. I mean, what's just happening?
Well, what's happening now?
Campaign,
Yes.
With
Sweet, I'm down for it.
With the besiegement of Hornhill. No, they are not bringing any more reinforcements. Baelor came south with a small army, very small, but a flank of Crownland's knights.
Okay, small but pretty damn good.
Small, but not like elite in mechanical Game of Thrones terms, but a small veteran or elite kind of force. In order to rally the houses around the Reach. So this is essentially the kind of, the first front. He did bring with him, though, a kind of dishevelled looking Lord Oakhart.
Oh, right.
Alistair
yeah, did he
Oakhart.
tell me that's Alistair Oakhart?
Sure.
Interesting. In that case, oh.
And that they essentially they have asked the Oakhart forces to rally with Baelor, to rally here with Highgarden.
Interesting. So they're just using Alistair to get the Oakhart forces?
Do you ask him that?
Yeah.
He looks around and rather surreptitiously says yes.
Okay. It's fine by me. It's all right by me. I couldn't give a crap. What is, just looking at Alistair, what is his condition? I know you said he's a bit disheveled. Just by looking at him?
Roll me awareness empathy.
Okay. Oh, that's bad for me. 17. And so it begins. 3 1s.
I mean, I haven't...
17.
I haven't messed up his character sheet yet.
4 1s, sorry. 4 1s.
4 1s, okay.
Yep. Roll 20 lights.
But with a 13, you do succeed in...
It's 17.
A 7... What?
I'm a water dancer. I add my fighting to all awareness checks.
Oof. All right. With a 17...
Yeah.
You get 2 degrees of success in reading him. So on the surface of it, you can see that he is not altogether present.
Okay.
He kind of retreats into himself a little bit. I don't think you ever met the guy.
Nope.
As Enzo.
I've only heard of him. I've only ever heard of him from the bitching that Marzia and Myria did about him. That's all.
He literally only speaks when he's spoken to.
Okay.
Otherwise, he keeps it to himself. He takes up very little space. He's thin, and he looks old for his years.
Ooh, I wonder.
Now, with a second degree of success, you can ask me a question about that, and I will answer directly and truthfully.
Okay. I would like to ask... Oh, shit. Can I ask him something? Would that be allowed?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask what he thinks of Mara and Samuel Tarly.
Are those the literal words that you use?
Oh, yes.
He doesn't look at you. And his eyes kind of flicker about a bit. And he seems to take up even less space than he already does sitting there at the trestle table. But then he asks you, "What word do you have of my lady?"
I know that last time I saw her, she was getting married to Samuel Tarly. Before they decided to kill their own guests. She's not as beautiful as she once was. Inside and out.
And like this husk of a man just doesn't say anything. He's just empty. But you get the impression that, like, the cogs are turning and, like, the algebra's going. That he's trying to process what you're saying. But obviously he's coming up with 50 different conclusions that, you know, could all be false because he's just working on 2 sentences of information that have to cover 5 years worth of living.
Yeah. Okay.
And then he vomits into his bowl of soup. Not very much, but he retches.
Yeah. Okay. Just kind of leave him to it then. Leave him process that. And in addition to that, I would like, if you allow me to, I would like to charm Baelor into being a friend. I want him to be my buddy.
All right.
I think it would be beneficial to be friends with the future king.
I still want to give you an answer to like a direct question about Alistair. It doesn't have to be an interaction.
Oh.
It can be something that you come to discover, or that you just understand from observing him. Because you got 2 degrees of success.
Okay.
Check.
This is what I want to do. So with the conversation, it continues. I want to see if there is still any fire behind him. I want to poke him, try and get a reaction out of him. Say, like, give stories of like how Mara and Samuel, how they spent so many. I want to see if there's still someone behind those eyes that is angry that this is happening. So I'm going to keep poking him until I get a reaction, if I get a reaction. So basically what I'm asking is he just completely and totally broken, or is there a chance for him to turn it round and be redeemed? Or is that too much? Or is that too much of a...
So which do you want to know? That if there's still fire in him, or if he can be redeemed?
I want to see if
because those are kind of 2 different things.
I don't care about redeeming him. I just want to know if there's any fire behind them. You know, that he's angry with what I've been telling him.
I'll absolutely give you the answer to this, but I want to know how vicious you become.
Not too vicious. It's going to be like, basically, I'm going to try and fill him in with stuff that he's missed for the past 5 years. And I'm going to do it in a sympathetic tone to lower, but the reason I'm doing it is to get a reaction. So I'm not like teasing him or anything. I'm basically just retelling what they have done. I may embellish a little bit, like saying, you know, like, oh, they went on a cruise, just those two together in the romantic seas, you know, like, and stuff like that, just to make sure he gets that idea that they've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
But I'm not like being vicious about it. I'm not being vicious. It's just filling him in for the past 5 years. That I know, that Enzo knows.
There are still, you know, just to extend the metaphor, some like smouldering ashes there.
Okay.
So there is still a little bit of fire.
Okay.
But the black cells have really done a number on him.
Okay. All right. Then, and then I'm just gonna see if I can befriend Halo.
Okay.
Or like maybe like request if I can spend an evening in his camp where we can share stories and, you know, share a glass of wine. I just want to see if I can get him to like me.
All right, I want you to roll for me a status reputation check.
Okay.
To basically, most people, lords, nobility can, you know, speak to in a slightly kind of formal setting, Prince Baelor, but what you're after is a bit more personal, and it's spending a bit more time with him and like schmoozing him. So
12.
He's just a bit too busy.
That's understandable. Okay, no problem.
He sends his, he's not an arsehole about it. He sends his apologies, but he's
got an army to run. He's got a war to fight. No, I understand.
He's speaking to Lady Olenna and Lady Casella and Sir Gawain, and he's it strikes you that he is not a person to shirk any kind of work. Like he takes it all very seriously.
Yeah. In that case, then that'll be it. That's all I want to do with Baelor.
All right.
That's as close as I want to get to the war, and carry on heading up the Rose Road, searching, I guess.
Okay. And it's on the Rose Road that you begin to hear rumours that Summerhall was burned to the ground by Samwell Tarly, and then some other rumours that a freak wildfire accident from the cellars killed a majority of men fighting in the keep as Samwell Tarly assaulted the palace.
Can I ask, when someone says wildfire, now, would I know what wildfire is, or would I take that as it's just a freak wild, like a wildlife fire would, or would I just take it as a freak kind of accident that just got out of control?
No, I think you would know. I think you would know what wildfire is.
Okay, cool. Okay. So glad I wasn't anywhere near that.
I'm going to check.
Just more solidified the fact that I'm doing what I'm doing. Getting away from the war zone.
History. I mean, it's said to be akin by to like dragon flame, to actual dragon flame. Just trying to see. It doesn't seem to have had, at least in the canon, much use before Aegon's conquest.
So because Enzo has he's been around King's Landing's court. He's been around a lot of the courts. I imagine Targaryens can't help but kind of boast about how they used to have dragons and stuff like that, and maybe like it got twisted there, like maybe I know of wildfire, of like saying, it's the closest to
dragons.
Raw.
For some older folk in the Seven Kingdoms are still in living memory.
Oh yes, of course. I forgot about that. Yeah. Oh, Enzo definitely would have chatted to those who were old enough to remember dragons. 100% he would have.
Yeah.
It's a good story, it's great stories. Okay, so I know what wildfire is. Okay, so cool. I'm glad that I avoided Summerhall. Holy crap.
Yeah. And so you hear a variety of stories about what happened, and conflicting agreements on what happened.
That's pretty standard.
But the story seems to always run that the Tarly army had entered the keep, and then it basically like exploded.
Right. Okay. Crap. How much of it? So in my eyes, I might even think most of the Tarly army is just gone.
Quite possibly.
Okay.
And so you find yourself here, really kind of between these the lands of these three houses: Ambrose, Merryweather, and the Fossleways to the south. And you can see ahead of you the Rose Road being quite a well-maintained road, parts of it in stone and brick and such like. This is one of those areas, one of those places and there are a couple of different paths off to the sides of the road to the north and to the south. Just over a field away, past some vines, some kind of like dying vines that are starting to wither away a little bit in winter, but still have quite a kind of luscious crop of red grapefruit that is hanging off of the vines, because the fruit is still good as the vines start to wither in the cold weather. Yeah, you can like take a bunch and just eat them.
Considering we've been on the road for a while and we're probably eating crappy dried bread and tough meat jerkies,
Yeah,
I'm absolutely gonna take some fruit.
just beyond that field is a tavern, a welcome tavern, simply called the Rose.
Okay.
And then to the south, you can see a little bit more farming infrastructure. So there looks to be, more of these fields of grapevines, and then probably like a winery over past it.
Okay.
Attached to the tavern, like a little shed, where they might trade out of as a kind of shop for traveling people, or might even serve as a little barn, or even a little manger or something like that. And then you can see out beyond the fields, further north on the Rose Road, the fields out there, they seemed to be really muddy and churned up. And you can see that there's even like a couple of like almost abandoned carts there, and you can see there's kind of there's even like big drapes of cloth, just muddy cloth, just strewn in the mud. And while the road itself is fine, the other kind of pathways around you somewhat deep with mud. It's rained a bit recently, but it's not been too bad. It's just been a bit cold recently. But it's the whole area around you at the moment certainly seems a little more kind of churned up than usual.
Okay. These pieces of cloth and stuff, do they have any sigils or anything on, or is it just kind of basic? Are they flags? Are they pieces of tent? Do they hold any color or?
Yeah, so you can head up to the field.
I'll have it up to the field.
Where there are these like drapes of cloth. There are a couple there, like there's also the kind of evidence of just kind of like supply crates or barrels that have been left here empty, possibly by camp followers or something like that. And there are even still a couple of tent pegs just left in the ground, the ropes having maybe been pulled just quickly whilst someone is on the move. This mud all around you has been churned up. It's like coming off looking at not quite Glastonbury, but like looking coming off like a lark field and seeing what it's like and that. The colours themselves don't bear any kind of clues to the exact heraldry or anything like that. But make me a knowledge education check.
Okay. 13.
Nice. Okay. So looking at a couple of the colours of the cloths and looking at maybe some kind of other strewn litter around that gives you an idea of where these people might have come from, there's evidence that these were crown lands.
Okay.
People.
So I can probably put 2 and 2 together and think this is the remains of Baelor's entourage coming through. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Is there a butcher in this village?
There might be, but there's no like sign or particular evidence of
Okay, no
of
problem.
anything like that.
I would like to go to the winery to start off with.
Mm-hmm.
I would very much like to fill my I say water skin. It's essentially a wine skin now. And I would like to ask, where would the best place to be in the village to get a resupply of foods like dried meats and stuff like that? Hopefully that'll give me an indication if there's a butcher in here or not.
So you maybe rap a couple of times on the big kind of barn doors of the winery, and inside are it's a pretty active place. There seems to be a lot of work going on in order for them to like get the best of the crop back in before the vines really start to die off for the winter. So this is essentially the kind of the last like sprint to the finish line when it comes to harvesting and then actually making the wine. And so there are lots of like young lads from and women as well from like around maybe the neighboring villages and
When
stuff.
you say young, how young? Are we a young adult or teenager?
Everything from like maybe 10 years old to kind of 17.
Okay.
And they're in the wine, like kind of wine casks, and they're literally stamping down the grapes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is there someone that I would imagine might be slightly older that is like a foreman or something that I can see?
There is, and he is talking to a young lady. And she's wearing fairly modest garb, a small folk woman. But she's asking him about a few bottles for if they've got anything ready yet for the tavern across the way.
Okay. In that case, I am going to walk my way up, and I'm not gonna kind of like interrupt. I'm gonna wait for a moment to introduce myself, and ask and kind of like approach and say, "Oh, excuse me for interrupting. I too was hoping that maybe there would be maybe a bottle or two that I can purchase myself."
And then, so the woman in front of you, as I say, kind of young adult, in our sense, kind of probably mid-20s, you would place her, turns around to you, and she says, "Oh, get in line, my lord." And she then sees your like noble garb and your big hat, and so she, she kind of, oh shit, okay, shouldn't have said that, and then she kind of turns back to the kind of foreman.
I'll smirk, and well, of course there is a line. Of course, my apologies. I did not mean to cut in. I was just inquiring on how many bottles that you yourself can procure.
Are you talking to the young lady?
No, the owner, the foreman.
I'm hoping to sell this to many markets, so you'd have to offer me a fine price for a bottle or two.
Well, how much would you say that this fine young lady's 2 bottles of wine and maybe 2 bottles for myself? How much would you say that would cost you?
Just gonna get my cheat sheet out. I mean, that price says he kind of licks his lips, smacks the roof of his mouth a little bit with his tongue as he kind of considers it, and has a little go at kind of the both of you. This is the end of the season. Every single bottle of wine is accounted for, and so I can't have people sorry, my lord, but I can't have people walking in off the Rose Road asking me for bottles here and there.
Okay. What are you willing? What, a crate? A barrel? What is it that you sell? Are they all like, or they all been already purchased? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying, what with the war on, I can get a fine price for wine like this, especially in the winter months.
It's true. But with the war on, will you have any lords to actually left to buy the actual wine?
Oh, if it's a long winter, my lord, they'll all be after it.
If they survive, of course.
See, the key is about supply, not outstripping demand. And making sure that they're always after a couple more bottles. A couple of bottles here, a couple of bottles there. A crate there, a crate there.
What about... So, how much would it cost for you to sell us the bottles that we want? Even with all the lords clambering for your wine.
Well, look, my lord. Now, if you're really
you have
after
to stop
something...
calling me my lord. I'm not a lord.
I'm sorry, sir. But if you're really after something, I've got a couple of really decent bottles back. Properly aged and everything. And then the woman starts to pipe up. Why don't you tell me about those? They... after just a couple of bottles for tonight, just to last us into the week, and you're offering him some actual vintage stuff, and you were telling me a minute ago that you're going to sell me stuff that hasn't been on the shelf for the last 3 weeks. Probably don't taste of nothing. And he kind of takes you by the shoulder and kind of starts walking you through the around all the barrels. And he says, "Now, sir, now for a decent couple of bottles of wine to see you on your journey with a proper vintage of 202. Been in my stores a couple of years at least. I could sell you one each maybe for a whole silver stag."
And that is 1 bottle each?
And so, of course, 2 silver stags for the 2
Silver
bottles.
stags. How much is in a crate?
A crate now, well, we sell them by the dozen.
Could you not do me a deal for if I have a dozen?
Maybe
Not
I
do
could.
me a little deal?
Maybe I could. Now, I want to provide you some context a little bit here, Tom, that
Okay.
a silver stag for a bottle of wine is an incredibly disastrous price. A gallon of Arbor Red would cost you 4 copper.
Okay.
Normally.
I mean, I understand that.
But these are wartime prices.
Unfortunately, Enzo, he does not really give a damn. Remember, this is the man who spent a dragon on a fucking helmet. No, 2 dragons on a helmet because he just thought, whatever, sure, go ahead.
That's
Kiwi,
not
go
as
nuts.
mad, though, I don't think. But anyway, yeah, he's got that kind of smile about him, like... No, I'm not going to give that away to you. All right, now, so I would like you, please, to roll a persuasion bargain check for me.
Persuasion bargain. Okay. That's a
See
persuasion check.
if you can actually get a bit of a discount off of him.
1 sec. I get to re-roll that one. 17.
That's all right. With a 17, yeah. Yeah, he offers you a discount. So instead of it being 12 silver stags, he'll sell them to you for 10 a crate.
I'll take it.
You can see behind him, as you look at him, the woman who's carrying an empty crate herself is like mouth agape, just like... She actually says out loud to kind of try and stop the transaction, "No, sir, please, that is a terrible price. don't listen to him.
Oh. Well,
You wouldn't have sold the whole crate for a silver stag back 2 years ago.
And he'll turn to think, are you trying to rip me off?
He gives a sigh and then he says, I'm not trying to rip anyone off, sir. But I don't know if you knew that there's a war on.
Oh, I'm very well aware that there is a war on. Very well. You know, how about this? I will pay you the 10 silver stacks for the crate. But under the impression that, I don't know, you give your workers something nice, maybe like a little pay increase. How about that?
And everyone's...
Maybe give them an extra ration of food or whatever.
Everyone stopped stamping on the grapes at this point. And you notice that there are far more barrels than there are people, than there are young men and women able to actually stamp. They look a bit short-staffed. And so, you know, he looks around for a second and then he yells at them. What are you all looking at? Get back to work. Yeah, of course I will, my lord. Just maybe a little bonus. A little seasonal bonus.
And what kind of bonus would that be? Loud enough so everyone can hear.
Nice. Well, coin, of course. Or maybe a night in the tavern.
And he's going to have a look around and see what their reaction to that is. Whether it's like, oh, okay, cool. Or just like, oh.
People are, like, stamping on the grapes a lot. But they are... they're trying to listen in. You see people kind of looking your direction. And then kind of not. And then kind of listening. It's a lot less squelchy than it was, but it was a couple of minutes previous. Quietened it down a little bit.
How about you pay them a little more for this final stretch that you are doing to get them through the winter, and also maybe a few nights in the tavern.
You say so, sir.
Very well then. I shall buy this crate for 10 silver stacks. And I hand over the money and kind of leave my hand there. Because you are a man of your word, aren't you? You would not lie to me, of course, no? Excellent.
Let me get them for you.
Thank you.
And he turns and kind of walks up some steps and into kind of an office.
And he's gonna head on over to the young lady.
Yeah. And with the empty crate she's carrying, and she's kind of holding it on her hip a little bit, and she's just kind of looking at you and just kind of slowly shaking her head.
Do not like to see a disappointed woman. So how about this? I cannot carry that many bottles of wine with me on my journeys. So how about I take 2 and you can have the rest?
Are you serious?
Of course.
Well, who plucked you out of the 7 heavens and brought you here? Like, what?
A woman with golden hair.
Oh, all right. Old Rowan Gold Tree herself, yeah.
Something like that. And I have been, with me and my companions, we've been traveling an awful long. So with these 10 bottles, is there a place that maybe we could stay at your tavern just for the night?
Oh, of course, yeah, just across the way. I tend the bar,
fantastic.
make the beds.
Fantastic. And we need to trail rations for when we go. Do you happen to have a place that we can buy some salted meats, like a butcher or anything like that?
Yeah. No, out the back there's a little store. And there's
a store?
And there's a fella there who strings his own meat and gets it in from game and stuff.
Oh, is he just on his own? Does he have no family?
No, I think his wife died a few years ago.
Ah, no children. Nothing. No. All right. Well, thank you. I'm sure I'd like to do business with him a bit later. Once we go on. But allow me to help you with these bottles when he returns.
Yeah, like he does, and he's got
And
this
right
this
in
crate.
front of his face. I want to go. I take 2 out, put them to one side, and then I just start putting the other bottles into her right in front of him, all 10. And I go, there we go. Thank you so much. And gonna start heading out. And I want to see the smirk on her face towards it.
Well, she walks out behind you, and then you hear her call back. See, Daron, you shouldn't be such a cunt sometimes. And she just like walks out with you.
Okay. In that case, I am going to head back to where I kept my horses and my companions are. I'm gonna safely stash the 2 bottles in my bag, and I'm gonna tell my companions that our mark, I suppose, the person we're looking for, could potentially be a butcher in a stall. It's behind the tavern, right?
So what you see is the ground floor is actually kind of stony kind of brickwork,
Mm-hmm.
and then the second floor and a bit of a loft space as well is wooden and thatch. And then out kind of the back and to the side of the like tavern building itself, there you've got this kind of like shed, kind of barn extension thing, all in wood, and that, based on what she says, probably what you assume to be the kind of like local store.
Okay. I am going to send Sir Carth and Squire Morgan to go to the butcher to purchase meat for traveling, to get an identification to see if the butcher has a scar, because he had a scar over his eye, right? That's the thing, under his eye. To see if there's a scar there.
A 3-pronged scar.
Okay.
That looked like the Mander itself is
very
what,
distinct scar.
Is what Sir Dennis said.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell them to go and get the meat, to keep an eye to see if they can find him. Then come back and tell me if it's that person. All the while, we're kind of just gonna be like blending in. We're gonna take our stuff to the tavern, like mingling, kind of like no fuss or anything like that.
Okie dokie. And the beef jerky that you managed to get is well, I mean, you could have everything. You can have anything really. From there's a little bit of bread. There are eggs.
Well, just basically
beef
stuff
jerky
that will last the journey.
You could even buy a tiny little bit of mustard.
Ooh.
To spice things up a little bit.
I think I shall do that. A little bit of mustard to spice things up, because they've probably been eating just so dull, boring stuff that Enzo is. Enzo's probably filthy. He's probably just because he's been on the road. He's probably miserable as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, a little bit of mustard.
So these prices are basically going to be doubled now at wartime. So mustard would be 50 copper. I mean, this is going to be short change for you, mate. It's going to be fuck all, but it's 50 copper for the mustard and cheer up mustard. Beef. There was beef somewhere. Yeah, beef by the pound, 2.5 copper.
I have to get enough to feed.
You call it like 100 copper in total, I think.
100 copper in total.
Yeah.
I'm just going to give him a silver. I don't know how much that is, but I'm giving him a silver. So
I'll
take as much meat as silver gives me. Enough for 6 people horses and
The more we've been
supplies.
playing, the more vague I want to get about the fucking money.
Yeah.
To the point where it's just like, okay, in order to, get a little thing, it costs like a copper. In order to get a decent thing, it costs a stag, and in order to get a actually top of the range thing, it costs you a gold dragon. And at this point, during the wartime, I could have been right. Instead of it costing you a copper, now it costs you a silver because it's war prices and shit. Okay, so your knight and squire come back to you just as you are essentially kind of being checked in to the tavern. First of all, the woman says to her barkeep, the tavern owner, the man behind the bar, she basically tries to convince him to give you free board and lodging because you've got him a whole fucking crate of wine off of old Greedy Guts.
Nice.
But he basically says that's all well and good. I do need a bit of coin just to, cover things, cover tithes and some expenses. Wine's great, you've really helped me out, but I do need a bit of coin.
How much coin? Well, what about the lodgings are free, but we pay for our drinks?
All right.
Yeah. Okay. So that's sorted. That's good.
And your knight and squire come back to you, and they report to you that the store was pretty small, and they didn't have a lot left.
Okay.
Whoever came through here and did the, so I've got the Norfolk accent back on. Who did the camped out there in the field.
Pretty much everything.
They took probably as much as they could. Probably stayed here a couple of nights and then were off. So we bought him out of mustard.
Okay.
So I doubt we could stay here very long.
We won't be staying here very long.
But he didn't have a scar.
Shit. Okay. Well, we will stay the night, and then we will move on and continue our search in the morning. So, relax, enjoy. Here's a silver stag between you all to get drunk. Just relax for the night. And Enzo, he's gonna ask if there's anywhere do they have a bath or something? Just wants to wash himself,
Yeah, they probably have a bathroom, just one.
Yeah,
where they've just got a tub.
Yeah, he'll probably just kind of go and wash himself and just take solace in the fact that he's not on a horse or sleeping on hard ground, and prep himself for the next village in the morning.
Yeah, they can give you a nice hot bath. Just really hot water, just soak all that dirt and travel out off your skin, and help with the riding sores as well. You just lay back and just relax.
That's what Enzo's gonna do.
Yeah. Faye, what did you want to get up to? You're in the driving seat now. I've done my role playing.
I think Faye has been mainly hanging out with the archery dudes. She's befriended a lot of the men in the Tarly camp merely through being a woman who's just stood there constantly firing at the archery target. And it's like that thing in the gym where a woman starts lifting weights and suddenly all these guys turn up and start giving her advice and stuff. And she's fine with it because she's making friends.
Sure. Yeah.
So she's been just repeatedly since Samuel dismissed her. Any free time she's got, she's just been firing into that thing and trying not to think about the rest of it and trying to actually have fun with these people rather than. I think it's the first time in her adult life she hasn't had a job.
Yeah, that's fair.
And she's quite enjoying having a distraction.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're beginning to start packing up the camp. And so you're in this kind of weird state where some tents are starting to come down. The camp followers and support, infantry are all like packing away, and they're starting to move some of the archery stuff away. I like to think maybe that there is a single solitary target left for you, and they kind of pack up around you as you are afforded more time at the range.
I love it.
But is there anything that you wanted to get up to as well as that?
In the camp, I think that's up to Miria.
Okay.
Really. I think Faye would love to meet Harris, but she's in this situation right now where I don't think she's going to push anything. Partly because it's not her job anymore, and partly because she doesn't want to be seen to be what Mara is, that kind of grasping, trying to control stuff. But I think it's pretty obvious where she is, if anyone wants to find her.
Well, I have a cool idea. What if Miria, Harris, and a couple of the boys that Miria brought with her are like sparring nearby?
Nice.
And we have a little break, and I clock you, Faye, at the archery range.
How would you approach?
So I think Miria puts down the training gear she's been using, and she I imagine there's always like a little fence that she's leaning on as she's watching Faye hit some targets, and she watches just a couple before she interrupts, but then she says, "You're a very good shot."
That is enough to make her kind of like jump. And she'll turn around and look at you like almost ready to draw another arrow. Like
Miria's like
on edge suddenly, and then sees you. And her whole body relaxes and she bursts into fits of giggles. Oh, I'm sorry, this place is driving me mad.
I can imagine. What? I don't imagine that the ones for archery much in Golden Grove. What spurred this on?
From time to time we are.
You should have entered at the tourney at Fox Hollow.
No, it's been years since I practiced, hence this. It just makes me a little uncomfortable being in this kind of environment and suddenly horribly aware that I've spent years dedicating myself to my mind, and activities which could save my life have gone a little, yes. She looks very uncomfortable.
Well, interestingly enough, I went the opposite way. But Harris and I are just about to take a break, grab some lunch. The sun's going to get very high soon, and there's one thing I've learned in Dawn is don't be out in the sun at midday. Would you like to join us?
That would be lovely. Thank you.
She just looks at Harris being like, we're doing this. Didn't ask you, but we're having lunch.
Okay.
So yeah, I think we'll find some rations or something, whatever food they've got here at the Tarly camp.
I'm pretty sure Faye would be able to, because of her sway with Samuel, if anybody who provided food at that place saw her, she would be getting the better stuff rather than just rations and whatnot.
Yeah, and so what feels like being at a restaurant whilst they're packing up or closing down, you enter this hospitality. Yeah, I hate you.
10:30, go away.
I hate you people. You enter this hospitality tent as they're packing down and taking supplies away, but the staff inside, small folk providing the food, do offer you at least some half decent grub that's still around.
Well, Lady Faye, we're guests here. I wouldn't know where is a nice quiet place to get some food.
Oh, well, we can. Well, I assume we can go wherever we want. You haven't annoyed anybody, have you?
There's a moment where Maria's like,
And Harris just nonchalantly says, "No, my lady. Is there a restriction? Is there a restriction upon you?"
There's absolutely not. I'd like to see him try. But there is a war on. I have to be careful, I suppose.
You should.
As should you. And she smirks a little, goes a little bit pink, and goes, there we go. Straight off to the nearest food tent.
Yeah, and you can sit down to a fairly simple meal. But there is the kind of last of the pork, quite fatty, that they have recently slaughtered. But they want to take more of the pigs with them on the road as they head off further into the Reach again. And just some of kind of yesterday's potatoes, a bit kind of smashed up, with all accompanied with a little bit of stew. So this feels a bit more like good soldier food, good kind of camp soldier food. But this is not this has not been the decent food that you've been maybe accustomed to with the kind of nobility has had.
I think if you notice, Faye doesn't dig in quite the way that if you've seen her eat before, she used to. But she makes a good show of pushing stuff around her plate. So
Harris bears no decorum.
I think Miri is in there as well. She's been training all morning. She's starving. She's just... I think after a while, though, after a couple of bites and maybe with a mouthful of potatoes, she notices that Faye's just, not really eating as much. And she's like, oh, shit, yeah, we're around civilized people. Puts down her, because I imagine she's holding a bowl like up to her mouth. She's like,
oh, no, do eat, really. You have no need to stand on ceremony with me. We are not in High Garden.
Well, you have to forgive me. I've been spending a lot of time around the men. So my ladylike qualities have fallen to the wayside a little.
Ladylike qualities are vastly overrated, in my opinion, for the most part.
Harris gives you a quirky smile and a laugh. Once Miri has said her bit.
There's a little like smile and a little like look out of the corner of Maria's eye. So, Lady Faye, I don't think we ever quite asked you, how did you end up here at the Tarly camp?
Well, that is the question, isn't it? Long story short, Samwell Tarly's a coward. And with just a little bravado, she finally takes a bite of stew.
In what way?
I jest, of course. Well, partly. He and I'm not sure if you knew, he and I were engaged to be married at one point, and he still holds some affection for me, I suppose. So when the events at their wedding took place, I was bustled into a side room so I couldn't make a fuss. Apparently, I'm here for my diplomacy, and yet when you arrived in camp, she nods to Lord Ball. Apparently, my invitation got lost.
Well, then allow me to make the formal introductions. Lord Harris Ball, meet Lady Faye Rowan.
A pleasure to meet you, my lord.
And you, my lady. I've been I've been hearing words around camp about this night in Hornhill. Could you perhaps illuminate some of that for us?
She looks puzzled for a second and then choke laughs on her stew. Oh, you mean night, not night. Yes. The wedding. Well, it was the start of their rebellion, I suppose, if you don't count what happened at Highgarden from their side of things. Perfectly lovely wedding to begin with. I wasn't there to see the events that unfolded in the hall after the ceremony, but many people were killed. Innocent people, people who had entered those halls assuming it was a celebration. And then a few key players were dragged up onto the battlements and their lives were threatened.
Some were taken.
Yes.
And Maria's turn to push around the potatoes and stuff on her plate.
Mm.
Harris gives you a sideways glance. You say that, but then kind of keeps his eyes low as Faye continues.
That action was taken by Lady Mara, I believe. She has made no secret of it. Seems to take some pride in the fact that she did the job properly, whatever that means.
Maria's just staring through the table like...
Lord Leo would have faced a similar fate had his lady wife not spoken up. I cannot think what else to tell you.
Rebellion or not, enemies or not, I'm not one to want to break guest rights and murder men in my own hall.
You are in the wrong camp then, my lord. This is not the first time I believe it has occurred with Lady Mara.
Or Samuel.
But for what reasons?
Did they make any proclamation, any announcement of who they were fighting for? Because I'll be honest with you, Lady Faye, as far as I'm aware, and then she looks at Harris to sort of confirm, we've heard nothing from the Tarleys regarding any of this. No pledges of allegiance, no missives to us, to Lord Bittersteel, to the king.
Well, isn't that peculiar? To my knowledge, at the wedding, no, but since then, yes, a proclamation was sent out throughout the Reach.
Oh,
so
we received
Mortali
that
is now
one.
acting something or other. Lord Paramount, I suppose. Leo is, well, he's in a better state than he was. Thank the gods. I do not wish to speak ill of my friend. And not all, regardless of where my allegiances lie, I believe not all on either side are blameless. I want to see justice in the land and sound rulership, but when the people in charge are manipulated, your words to Lady Mara or sound, I believe. There is a rot in this kingdom, and I have seen it up close far more than others.
You had asked previously why I had pledged myself to the Blackfyres. And I said the rot. But I have seen it firsthand. I've experienced it firsthand. And she looks at Harris. I don't think she's even told Harris. Do you know why I was in Dawn, Lady Faye?
No.
At the tournament at Fox Hollow, the Queen herself asked me to assassinate her brother, Prince Marin Martell. She used my heritage and my past experiences with the prince as leverage. Beyond the fact that she was the queen and I can't refuse a queen.
Is that why you are here now, when this news has reached us?
I was happy to hear of Prince Marin Martell's death. A man who had spent years of his life trying to kill my father and then tried to kill me. I will not mourn him.
I cannot mourn what I have not met.
He perfectly exemplified the rot that dwells within this realm. I have evidence of payments that he had given to Horatio Ironwood. I have a letter where he instructed him to use a poison on the spear when he fought my father.
Instructions from Martell?
Yes.
Why?
Because many, many years ago, my father killed a brother of his in a duel.
These things do tend to echo.
And for that, he tried to wipe out an entire line of a family.
That sounds painfully familiar.
But when the king is surrounded by people who are corrupt, I mean, his own wife, the queen, trying to kill her own brother.
There is rot on both sides of this, I fear. There are people allied to this camp who you would do well not to trust.
If you forgive me, my lady, the people in this camp I trust are seated around this table.
Harris turns his head, gives you a glance there, keeps it for a second, and looks back to Lady Faye.
I am very fond of Samwell, regardless of his occasional bouts of stupidity and his poor choice of wife. But I do not trust him.
He has been nothing but pleasant with me.
I'm sure he has.
But now that gives me pause. Concern.
Well, of course. Samwell is obsessed, has always been obsessed with making friends. He hates to be thought ill of by anybody. And you, riding in here, new Lord Paramount of the Reach, of course he would want to be your friend. Just take care. He's prone to making rash judgments. Speaking of which, I asked you before about the new king, your Blackfyre. It was not mere curiosity. You have met the man?
Spent time with him, Melody.
And who is he? Who is this man? I mean, not lineage. Would he be a good ruler?
He needs to Google him first to remember exactly
Okay,
what
well,
he's
you
like.
do that, and I'm going to have some more stew.
Okay. Okay. Third-born son. I got internet. Come on.
We'll make idle chit chat over stew. It's fine.
Yeah. Of a third son. He is valiant. Is a young man, lean and lithe. He doesn't quite take to the sword as his father. And he has his half-uncle's interest in music and fine things.
So if he's not taken to the sword, why this? Figurehead, I suppose.
He speaks of this all as if it were a dream. And I think, if I'm honest, as little as I believe it, Lord Bittersteel has really taken to that.
The dream.
I would guess so, my lady. His Grace speaks of these events not in any great specific way, but almost prophetically.
And Lord Bittersteel, I assume, is pulling the strings to make this dream happen.
Only as the Brown Dragon commands it.
Well, of course. And what of him?
Bittersteel? He is by nature his very name. He is everything that you have heard about him, or maybe unfortunately experienced in your youth, I don't know. But he is cold and harsh, quick to anger. But he is a good general. And as his victory shows in Dawn.
Is that really a victory, though? If the other party to the battle runs away because their leader dies? Samuel Tarly could just as well claim that he bested the Targaryens at Summerhall. He did not. They blew the place up. I do not mean to speak ill of your friends, but I believe in realism. I've never been one to mince my words, I suppose.
No, please. I'm used to it by now. You hang around enough Tyroshi mercenaries, and they definitely tell you what they think of you. His Grace, he has a certain captivating presence when he speaks about the Blackfyre's return to Westeros. You can't help but get caught up in it.
That's what a kingdom needs, I suppose. An inspiring leader, something to believe in when all the fighting is done.
But it also needs people like us.
Absolutely. Lord Leo Tyrell is a good man. Perhaps not the world's greatest leader, but a good leader. If only for the trust that he put in the people around him advising him, and the fact that he has a good heart. His intentions are just, regardless of which side of this battle you are on.
I don't doubt that he is a good man. Probably a good husband and a caring father. But he's far too comfortable in the status quo. You said it yourself. Good men like Leo surrounded by poison. I remember before the tournament, before I left for Dawn, those raids on Dawn, the battles, I took part in a few of them defending my lands. A good leader would not have let that happen. Those massacres.
I'm sorry. Viewing such things from inside. I suppose it is easy to become divorced from the reality of it. But in no case has there been allowance of these raids. It's complicated. But half of the people who are pushing for those raids are in this camp, so we are in a tricky situation. And I find it difficult to know which way to turn in it, if I'm honest. All I know is that I am a head of my house now, not a man, and if I am to once more bow to a man's will, I shall know that man first.
And I will need to know the people of the Reach and its leaders.
If you wish me to help you in that, I'm at your disposal. I have nothing better to do than continue bruising my arm.
I think Maria slightly turns to Harris and under the table, she puts her hand on his knee. I've known Faye for some time. I trust her. She is someone you can rely on.
With our coming victory, we'll need to gather a new council. The new leaders of this realm. And I hope that you would be a fit candidate to sit amongst those leaders. But as much as he is a good man, there is no room for the Tarleys at their table. Or in this new realm. and under Blackfyre rule. If the Tyrells are growing strong, then you really need to rip up that plant, root and stem.
I would keep quiet about the Tarleys around here if I were you. There are ears.
When I say Tarleys, I meant Tyrells.
You meant Tyrells?
I did.
Okay. Tyrells then.
Fucking names, George. Jesus
God damn it,
Christ.
I thought that was juicier than it was.
Right. I was like, oh.
All right, well, I'll add this then. And if they can't be trusted, then there is neither a seat for the Tarleys either.
I do not wish you to take my word on any of that. Judge for yourself, but I would hope you are a man wise enough to see a pattern when it presents itself.
With good counsel, I hope so. What troubles me is... And he turns to Mary at this point as well. What suffering did Samwell Tarly have to endure under the Targaryens and the Tyrells? He was no ward. He had no dishonor.
His father was prominent at Highgarden, from what I understand. They got to keep their army in their castles after the war.
So
This is
why is he here? Why all this?
That's what I'm trying to figure out, because from what I see here, it's just ambition.
You could call it that. Ambition takes many disguises, I suppose. While he and I have not spoken on it, I have known him well enough, for long enough to be able to see a pattern myself. He's not chosen your side because of any wrong done to him. He's not doing it for personal gain in any more sense than hopefully when all of this is over, he will have some power. He's doing it because he thinks the majority of the Reach want it. And he likes having friends. And I believe him when he says that he feels for the small folk and wants to minimize their pain in this inevitable war. So in a way, Samwell Tarly has chosen Blackfyre for far nobler reasons than most of the men in this camp. He's a confusing fellow.
I could potentially agree with you there, but I was at Blackmont and I saw what has become of that place since Samwell Tarly and Mara Tarly removed Ellery as their lord. The fields were left unharvested. The small folk were scattered, scared. There was no one there to help them. And I imagine the situation is very much the same across the Reach, where they are holding their hostages and killing their lords. I find it difficult to believe that he cares for the small folk when he is doing things like this and flaunting his wealth.
You should feel free to speak with him on this. I can do so with you if you would like. Maybe a little easier to do if his wife is not in the room, but he has shown me in the past he will listen to reason if it is presented to him.
Harris excuses himself for a moment to go for a quick pee. But I'm sure you had something to talk about.
Yeah.
So you're back.
That's true.
Okay. I have very little to say to Samuel Tarly.
I understand.
I honestly can't believe I'm even in their camp currently, and that both of them are still breathing.
Oh. That too would be understandable. What of that one? She gestures with her head to the one that just went for a pee.
Oh, like blush immediately.
Is he strong?
Yes.
Strong enough to withstand the force of Samuel Tarly's friendship?
That's what I'm worried about.
Ah. Hawk is hovering over a field mouse, then.
Harris is a good man, an honorable man. He is strong. He is a good general. But he is kind. And I have seen what men like Samuel Tarly do to good, honorable men. My father was honorable. He was a good man. And he died because of them. And she goes like, she hovers as if she's about to say something. I would hate for something to happen while I was away.
Would you like me to babysit for you?
Babysit. I would. And again, she's like low-key blushing. She's not quite able to meet Faye's gaze, but there's like a little smile that comes out of her mouth. I would ask if you could counsel him and try to save him from Samuel Tarly.
I can't promise anything, but I'll do my best.
Thank you.
In return, she'll look about, just make sure there's nobody within earshot.
Mm-hmm.
Considering how much I have forgiven of Samuel, I would hope that when I say to be wary of somebody, that carries weight. Your opinions on Lady Mara are very correct, in my opinion, and there are others with a similar level of poison about them. And she looks up, I'm assuming, like seeing Harris approaching, and clasps Miria's hand and leans in close to her ear. She says, "Beware, Costain."
And Miria like looks and nods. And I don't think Miria is too familiar with Costain. I don't think they've ever really crossed paths. But she nods very seriously back.
So, you carry on into war, then, I suppose. Whatever that may bring.
I only regret that I can't stay.
It's a choice. You are making a choice. I'm not saying it's the wrong one.
I already made a mistake leaving Ironwood. Our house words are, we guard the way. And I left the way unguarded.
I swear, sometimes the gods come up with those house words just to torture us. Our own fortunes made. I've spent my entire life obeying the word of a man who is no longer with us. And now I'm obeying the word of a man who has taken me hostage. Ridiculous. What are yours? To Harris.
Fuck, I don't know.
What are they, Sam?
I don't think they've.
Even have any
bring him into the
chemicals?
conversation.
I don't think they. Yeah, I
Got
don't know.
him.
Oh no, that's a shame. Okay, I redact the question.
They don't have any canonical
Oh, we'll have to come
house
up with one.
words, so we'll have to come up with some.
Yeah,
Now these
okay.
house words, they take a little bit of time, so I can't just
Yeah.
come up
Yeah,
off the
no,
top of my
that's
I
head.
fine.
do.
Okay, I'll pretend he said it, and we feel a little closer now.
Fuck around and find out. That's his house words.
I mean, his
love
dad
it.
did fuck around and find out, so it's true.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good, Lord Lyons, though.
Oh wait, what?
Lord Lyons said, pride in our blood.
Mm.
Oh.
That's pretty good.
Mm.
I mean, Quentin did join Blackfyre because he got shafted for a place in the King's Guard.
Yeah. Descended from one of 3 husbands of Floris the Fox.
Really?
Does that mean we're like distantly related? Or have I got
Fuck.
the bloodlines?
And
Oh, no, wait,
no.
I'm clear. I'm Dornish. It's fine.
They descended from one of the 3 husbands of Floris the Fox, a daughter of Garth Greenhand, apparently. A history lesson for you.
Blimey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah. Trying to bring him back into the conversation over his, well, just past his arm, really, you notice on the very edge of the tent, looking very inconspicuous, is yours and Enzo's spy, Ren.
Oh. Her eyes will flick to her and then down and back into this conversation. And as she's talking to them, she'll just kind of flick her finger out, sort of pointing to one side of the tent. It looks like a casual gesture, but if this person is watching, they'll know.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll just carry on talking for a little while, just making idle small talk about stupid house words. When do we get to stop just existing in the shadows of our father's decisions and live?
Aren't we living?
Are we? I'm not. I've missed 2 festivals since I've been here. I'm very cross.
Well, is festivals even continuing, my lady?
No. We're all missing the festivals. But I do hope we'll be able to continue them. Once all this is over, you'll have to come and see what it's all about. It's funny when you grow up with something, you don't ever think it's anything unusual, but I've come to realize it's quite rare.
Oh, I'd love
Would
to.
you excuse me for a moment? She's not going to say she's going for a pee, but they can assume whatever they want.
Sure.
And she'll sling the bow back over her shoulder, and go back out to the archery targets, or the archery target singular.
Yeah.
And just put a few arrows in it, and it's in the direction that she sort of flicked her finger
And so
Ren.
Ren out from nowhere, probably pockets something in your pocket. And then says, like, I'll be waiting by the horses or something.
I think as she's pulling the arrow back, hearing that, you can see that her hand is just shaking. Her shots have gone to absolute shit. Yeah. Yeah, she's rubbish. There's nowhere near the gold now.
Yeah.
And she'll finish shooting all her arrows and go to collect them. And as she's doing it, she'll reach into her pocket and just sit back and see what has been put in there.
And it is a letter. Tom, what does this letter look like? Anything in particular? How is it delivered?
Not really. It's a pretty plain letter, to be honest.
Okay. So folded up a few times, tucked away.
Enzo's writing?
I have to assume so. Unless he's faking it.
It depends on what you think Enzo's writing is. Has he ever written really to you before?
Yeah, he did. He wrote that letter back in
No.
Horn Hill.
No.
Oh, okay.
Could you still read it out for us, Tom?
Yeah, I can read it, what it says.
Thanks.
It says, My Lady Deirdre, alas, the dance was not as joyous as I had hoped. A number of unruly guests unfortunately ruined such a happy occasion. So I left in hope for a more prosperous event. I do truly hope we can share a dance by candlelight soon. From the Marin Lord.
She'll read it over and over. And you said that she didn't recognize the handwriting. So this is...
No, not really.
Make me a cunning... logic? Or maybe cunning memory?
$13.
A 13's a pretty good roll. So, is this Enzo? Has Enzo written this, or has someone else written this?
Enzo has written this.
Okay, so
if you look closely, it's probably forcibly in a more basic handwriting. So he's kind of like
trying to disguise his writing. Okay. In that case, her hands are just full on shaking at this point, and she's looking around to see where Ren went and just gaping, like, just cannot process this at all because she'd said goodbye. And I am now so baffled that I've forgotten where Ren said to go.
Horses.
Roll me a cunning memory check.
Oh, shit. Yes. 19.
The horses.
The horses, yeah.
It's got a quick getaway then, isn't she?
Okay, yeah. But there's no question in this. So she's like, what am I she'll, like this, what time of day is this? This is daytime, right?
Afternoon by this point.
And they're packing all the fucking tents up. Where the hell am I going to get a candle at this time of day?
You could spend a destiny point, if you have one, to find a candle.
But I I don't even know if I'm that interested. Oh, how dare you?
You could spend a destiny point, add a detail to the scene. You can spend a destiny point if you want to.
Yeah, fuck it. Why not? Fine.
Wow.
It's not like I had to take an actual disadvantage to get one.
Okay. So you'll spend it. You'll get it back at a kind of milestone, or if you complete an objective.
It needs to be somewhere out of sight of the rest of these people, though, because it's
absolutely fine. You can find a small, empty tent that still has some furnishings in it. That has some candles. You spend a few moments with. I don't know how they used to light candles. Fucking flint and steel, bit of something else, and then you light the candle. Sure. You get some candles lit, and you can, if there is a message written in invisible ink, read that message. Tom, if you have one.
There is.
Oh!
yes.
All right.
It says, I will find answers and hopefully a gift for when you return home. Stay safe, stay sharp, and we shall find safe harbor.
This little smirk just starts tickling the corner of her mouth. And she reads the letter again and just kind of like an angry, forceful kiss, like, oh, you fucking beauty. And holds it over the candle flame to burn it up. Looking really sad about the fact she has to do that.
Yeah.
But she's smirking now, and there's the smile there that I think only Enzo would have seen before when he suggested revenge. Yeah. And once the letter's burned up, she'll go back to the tent that Harris and Miria were at, if they're still there, and carry on the day's fun.
I do feel like we should go back to Enzo.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you do once you've had your bath?
I'd probably go down to the common room of the tavern, enjoy some wine, talk to my companions to keep their, spirits up and stuff. Make sure they have enough food and drink to keep them happy. I'm always constantly got my eye out, searching the room. Like literally, it's kind of like it's just a safety thing that he's just basically picked up. So he's always just scanning the room for any potential dangers or interests or anything like that.
Okay. And over go on.
I was just going to say, once that's done, you'll probably go to bed, fall asleep, and and then leave in the morning should nothing happen.
Over the course of the evening, you notice that the barmaid that you bought the wine for has been kind of on the lookout as well. The few men, particularly, who come in here, they all are kind of a little bit on edge.
Okay.
They're all looking around just each other, and what you assume to be the locals that are coming in spot you and your party and give you a wide berth. And you overhear the barmaid speaking to the store owner up at the bar, and she's asking when Jaffrey will next be around.
Jaffrey
will next be around.
Okay.
Has he come round with his, with his hunt, with any of his game or anything like that? You're out. You should have put the word out. She says, he tells me stuff sometimes. When we're having a tumble, he didn't want to be around all the, armies and Targaryens and stuff. No, I get that, but surely he'll be coming back round soon, won't he? You will be here tomorrow? And the store owner says, yeah, no, sure, I know he should be here. I do need a bit, to be honest with you. His grace and all his men cleared me out, really.
Okay. Have they stopped talking? And I'm going to wait for them to separate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they can, yeah.
When they separate, I'm going to pick up a glass of wine with mine. I'm going to go... And I'm going to go to the young woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to pop a glass down in front of her and kind of, please excuse me, I didn't properly introduce myself earlier. My name is Enzo. And he sits down and he kind of like takes a sip of his wine.
You're not from around here, are you?
What gave it away?
That funny accent?
You've got sharp ears. No. I'm not from around here, no. Just passing through.
On your way to where, King's Landing?
Well, I'm searching for someone.
All right.
And I was told that they could potentially be on the Rose Road. So I'm going up to the Rose Road. It is possible that they ended up in King's Landing, so that is the way I'm going. It's also very helpful that it is away from the troubles in the south. I like to avoid trouble. You understand.
I'm glad it hasn't really come our way so far.
Indeed. I was a little troubled with, how that company of, I assume, soldiers kind of tore up that field back there not too long ago.
That was His Grace Prince Baelor and his knights from the Crownlands.
That is a rare thing. Did you get the chance to see him?
Oh, of course. Yeah, I served his group. They drank heartily and ate us out of house and home, but what travelling bunch of war-hungry men don't do that?
That is it. Alas, they do not count on what happens to the village after they have passed on. I went to the butcher and there wasn't very slim pickings. Do you know what you will do? Winter is coming.
There's usually a fellow that comes round, hunter type, just gets game and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And he has not been seen for a while?
No. I mean, I know him, and he didn't want to be around that lot as they were here.
I see. And what was his name?
Jaffrey.
Jaffrey? Oh, could you give me what he looks like? Maybe I saw him on the road. Or maybe I could tell him if I'm on the Rose Road going up to that you're in need of some meat.
Are you a bit jealous?
Jealous? Jealous? Jealous of what?
Why are you asking what he looks like?
I thought I'd help you out. If I found him, that you were in need of his supply.
All right, Tom. Roll me. This is starting to become an intrigue.
It is.
Roll me. Roll me whatever action you want to take.
Oh, let me get the cheat sheet out because the actions are different. Hang on.
Yeah. So you've got your typical influence, which is you doing your persuasion test and trying to do some damage. Fast talk, manipulate, retarget, Shield of Reputation's always fun.
Yeah, So I'll tell you what I'm trying to do. I mean, it's obvious what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to essentially get a description of this guy to see if it's the person. But I want to do it. I want her to be friendly to me. I want her to like me so that she'd be more willing to kind of like tell me.
You could roll charm with this.
So I think
he doesn't have to be convinced.
Charm. Yeah. I'm just going to charm her. I want her to like me because I'm going to say like I'm doing this for your benefit. You know, I don't have to, but I'll do this for your benefit. So, charm persuasion, 29.
Ooh, that's sickening.
Yeah.
I think she's just done for. This is like small folk barmaid woman, stats wise.
I'm 2, 4, 6. Yeah, no, that's right.
Okay. So you improve your target's disposition by 1 step. In addition, you gain +1 bonus dice on all deception and persuasion tests in your next intrigue against them. Not that probably matters too much to you.
Yep.
And in terms of your objective, you want her to...
I want her to like me.
Is that it?
Well, I want her to like me so that she's more willing to give information to me.
Okay. So, yeah, you spend some time kind of getting to know her a bit, genuinely being interested. She is very happy with that because normally any kind of nobility or folks like you who come riding through town, they don't want to know anyone else. They don't give a fuck. Yeah. But you're actually being nice. You're being nice to a waitress. That's what's happening. And we should all trust those people.
Waitresses and waiters, folks.
Yeah.
They are people.
They are. Can attest and person. What? What? Cool. All right. If you have no other objectives than you want her to like you more, then
no. So I want her to like me more, and then give me the description of the man.
Okay. So she describes him as Jaffrey's, older, older than some folk might say that I should be with, but they don't know anything. He's quite athletic. Used to be an old knight, I think.
You see. I mean,
and then she, she says, he's kind of, old salt and pepper hair around the sides, and then she says it, and he's like got this scar, and she's kind of going into this description, losing herself in it a little bit, as you kind of charmed it out of her. And then she kind of makes a little kind of symbol down her cheek with her 3 fingers.
See, you were close to this person, or is it, whenever he's in the village?
She laughs, and then she says with a kind of wry smile, "Oh, it's whenever I can."
Oh. I imagine you're in high demand. A pretty thing like you.
She heads off to kind of pick up some glasses and stuff like that, but she still has a smile on her face when she walks away. And she heads off
Enzo's got the smile, and she walks off, and the smile instantly just turns. And he gets up and goes back to his companions, and just with a drink, and he we might hang around a little longer.
All right.
And then he'll tell them the information.
Yeah. And we can hang around with you a bit longer. So, what would your plan be then?
So my plan is this. We will hang around the village in hopes that he will enter to sell his wares. Okay? At that point, we're going to be keeping an eye on everyone in the village, all of my members of the companions. And the second he's in, I want to know about it. and to keep an eye on him, but not too obvious, like you're following him. You know, I think if I keep an eye on the waitress who never told me her name, I think that her upbeat, being happy, and maybe going off with a person will be a bit better. And then when he's finished with all that, how big is this village?
The village itself is not really around exactly where you are. It's a tavern.
Far.
It's a rest stop, and it's a winery, and then there's like effectively bits of like little hamlets around.
Okay, so the plan is, when he comes in, I'm going to talk to him, see if I can kind of befriend him.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe get him drunk. Maybe get him to talk about. The idea is to get him talking, get his, about what he's done, or maybe what he's done in the past, to just completely verify this is the right person.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will make a decision on whether or not I will do something that night or wait for him to go back into the wild.
Okay. That morning,
Mm-hmm.
you are awoken abruptly by raps on your room door.
Okay.
Knock, 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 knock. And who out of your companions do you think would be up the earliest?
The earliest, most likely, definitely, where is he? Sorry, I need all the names. Definitely Oscar, who's the archer. He tends to be like the scout, the hunter,
Mm-hmm.
up with the thing,
So he is at your door.
Mm-hmm. What is it, Oscar? It's early.
And he's got bright eyes as he says to you, "Your Manda man is here, my lord." Not my lord. We keep saying that. Your Manda man is here, Captain.
Thank you. Tell the others. Keep a safe distance. I want to know what he does. I want to watch him at least for an entire day to see what he does. And then I shall make my decision tonight.
Entire day? All right. I can perfectly frame this streetwise check then. So...
I do like to make things nice for you.
No, it's perfect. Thanks. I appreciate it. One night, one day? Sure. All right. Please roll me a knowledge stewardship. No, stewardship? Jesus Christ.
Streetwise?
Streetwise check.
What do I have? Hang on, let me have a quick look.
And your companions can offer you a bonus die.
Yeah, okay. That's kind of cool. I like that. Okay.
You do have 3 bonus dice and a test die in your frame.
I will just stick with my companions.
Okay. All right.
Oh, come on. Seriously? 10. It's not good. Roll 20 does not like me.
Other than he arrives into the tavern. Doesn't even really arrive to the tavern. He heads to the store, and apart from the very facts that he sells some of his like game that he's hunted.
Mm-hmm.
So he does come on horseback, and his saddlebags have got kind of, a rough kind of ranger's kind of life about them, and various accoutrements to do with that. And he has a bow slung over his shoulder. He looks like a typical kind of hunter or poacher. He has that recognizable scar of the... It kind of looks like the Manda if you squint a bit.
Okay.
But there is a kind of, 3-pronged scar down one cheek. And the fact that he sells his game to the local kind of merchant.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really figure out or find out anything else about him.
Okay. While I've been in this this place around the tavern, how busy is it for some, would you say, regulars? Is it quite sparse?
Very.
Is there only a handful of people? I just want to know, if trouble was to kick off, what would I be looking at as people to potentially jump in?
It's very sparse.
Good. Okay. Good. All right. I want them to keep an eye on. I want to see if he comes into the tavern.
Mm-hmm. He goes in for lunch.
If he comes into the tavern, I want to be there alone with just me. The others will be around. Probably they're probably like someone's looking at the front, someone's looking at the back, and another one is kind of just flowing right through. And they're kind of just making sure that if he leaves, they've got eyes on him. Basically, I just want to know if he leaves this tavern and goes into the wild, I want to know the direction he's going, essentially. Until then, I want to introduce myself to him in the tavern. Because I imagine there's no one else, really, in the tavern to talk to. And,
You can walk in as he is just sitting down for lunch. I think if you'd managed to get like a real better read on him through the streetwise, then you could kind of like jump the gun a bit and be there waiting for him. But you've not quite got that momentum yet. And so your companions figure out, okay, he's just sitting down for lunch. He's just sitting down for lunch. And you're all trying to do this so inconspicuously because you and him are like the only fucking people around.
Okay. So I'll come in. I'll go and ask for some lunch myself. And I will turn to him and look and go, excuse me, it is so lonely. Would you mind if I joined you for lunch? Just a little bit of idle conversation.
Yeah, I would.
Very well. I will not intrude in your lunch. I will sit down and I'll make sure that they bring me... I'll make sure they'll bring me wine, and I'll take a sip and just like pretend to savor it, like, this is really good wine. This is really good. And I'll turn to him and we'll kind of, would you like some wine?
No, thank you.
So, as you wish. And I will really play up kind of like how good this wine is. Who's current? And as I'm there, I want to eye him and see what weapons and armor he's got on.
Okay. Roll me awareness notice.
Okay. Oh, come on. Roll 20. Jesus. 18.
You know that he carries a bow.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a quiver of arrows on the horse from your observation of him previously.
He doesn't have a sword on him currently? A dagger that I can see?
He is cutting his chicken with a knife.
With a dagger. With a knife. And that's all I can see on him currently. Oh. Didn't really want to do this during the day. A bitch. Okay. No one around?
There is no one around, and so he is just trying to eat, but occasionally glances up at you as you are looking him up and down.
Okay. In that case, I will finish my lunch. I will head outside, and I'll signal all my companions to come. And I will enter with my companions, all suited and booted, swords and everything. And I'm going to take a chair, and I'm going to kind of like put it in front of him. And I'm going to go, I think that we were going to have that conversation now.
1 second, because that doesn't quite happen.
Oh, okay. Apologies.
But you have a very high awareness. And so as you walk into the tavern, you hear out the back of the back bar murmurs, rushed murmurs from people. There's still a chicken leg left on his plate, kind of half eaten. And you can hear these rushed murmurs from behind the tavern before the creak of a door opens.
Okay, in that case, so I've got all my companions. I'm going to tell Oscar to go out the front, go round. No, not Oscar. I'm going to tell. Sorry, I need the names. I want Sir Garth and Squire Morgan. Oh no, Squire Morgan will be with the horses. I want Sir Garth and I want Oscar to come with me, and I want my armored infantryman Marley to run out and try and cut him round the other side, and we're just going to pelt out the back after him.
All right.
And yeah, that's what we're going to do.
All right. Roll me athletics run.
Okay. I am going to... Fuck. Do I... I'm going to use a bonus dice.
Okay.
I think. Yeah. Should I? Yeah, go on. I'll use a bonus dice. 11.
Okay, so you rush out of the back past the barmaid and then smash out of the back door. Glance around, turn around to the right, and he is trying as quietly as he can, but as quickly as he can, making his way around the back of that kind of bit of barn extension where the shop would then, you turn around and it effectively would be turning around into the kind of stores. So he dashes that way, but he looks back, having heard the door crash open, and he can see the three of you emerging from the back of the tavern, and so he flat out sprints towards his horse that's just beyond the way there. Coming in from the side then is your armoured knighty person, who is also trying to rush him. He just about has the distance on that, and he's shortly going to get to his horse. Roll me another athletics run.
Okay.
Unless you want to do something else.
Can I see his horse?
Yes.
I want Oscar to shoot the horse, so it is basically, it goes down. Not to kill it, maybe just injure it.
All right.
And while all the rest just full-on sprint after him. And because it's a full-on sprint, I am going to use a test die.
Okay.
And
so I need you to roll for your ranger.
Okay.
Against the horse.
What's his marksmanship?
Have you got the stats?
No, basically he's just a normal archer. And what archer is in, like in units in the book. It's just an archer.
Gotcha. Let's see what I've got under here. I don't think I actually ever ported in got a hunter.
I mean, sure, that'll
Marksmanship 3, probably not. I would say this is like marksmanship 4, 2 bonus dice, probably.
2 bonus dice, right? Okay, I've just temporarily upped mine.
All right.
Okay, that was what he did.
21.
21 for that guy.
Susie, what's the damage on a
I think all
bow?
I think all
Longbow?
of the
Hang on.
Greenmont archers had long bows, didn't they?
It's agility plus
Potentially.
2.
Agility's probably going to be 3, isn't it?
Degrees of 5. How many degrees of success that is against a horse? I don't know.
Let's think. What's he got then? Oh, I hate
Also
how-
has piercing plus 1, so it ignores 1 AR.
Yeah. Not that this poor horse has any AR. It's probably like a Rouncy, right?
Probably won't be that.
Or a Garen.
Yeah.
Garens have a natural armor of 2,
Really?
apparently.
Thick hide.
Mules have an AR of 2. Wow. No, it's gonna be like a palfrey, right? I don't know what these horses are like. Whatever. I saw a Rouncy first. Let's go with that.
Okay.
Combat defense of 10 means it is double the combat defense for a crit. A few 2/6s there. Check the cheat sheet on that. And 21 gives you 3 degrees of success.
So it's 15 damage at least. Plus, what's the crits? Here we go. No, wrong crit. 2 crits is sundering hits, so it reduces the opponent's AR by 1.
Okay. I don't think technically horses, like as tertiary characters, can take wounds or injuries.
I've only want it, so it can't ride.
Okay, so this arrow flies
Disable
into
the
the back leg of this horse as it bucks and whinnies.
Or scare it off. I don't care as long as he doesn't get on it. That's all I.
Yeah. No, it would. It starts to kick away, and so just as he's about to reach it, he's reaching out for the horse as it's running away. Okay. If you're dead sprinting after him.
Yeah, I'm full on sprinting. So I'm going to use a test dice and a bonus dice to reach him. Because, full on, I need to stop this guy. 18.
It's very
18.
respectable.
Not the most athletic. Now, if you would say agility, well.
A 12. And so him reaching out for this horse slows him down a little bit as you just dead into a sprint manage to catch up with him just as your armored knight manages to catch up with them as well as to the two of you.
Okay.
What do you want to...
So I've got my rapier drawn and pointing it at him, and I will say, I think that is far enough.
And he, holding his hands out to the side, he says, "Who the fuck are you?"
I am someone who wishes to have a conversation with you. And you will talk one way or another. And he'll kind of nod to his companions to disarm him and get some rope.
All right. So they go and they take his knife. At which point he lunges for, I guess, your armored knight behind.
Okay.
Dealing a 22. I'm going to say this doesn't knock them out, but this knocks back your armored knight enough that this is a proper jaw crunching kind of punch. This crack goes out, and they fly backwards and are kind of rolling on the floor. But you turn to act if you want.
In that case, I am going to... Hang on, let me go back to what I can do with fighting now. I am going to... I'm going to do acrobatic defense.
Mm-hmm.
and I am going to. Passive. I don't think I'll be able to do that. I'll be able to beat it. What's the passive fighting? It's if it's 5,
it's the small number there,
right?
If it's 5, it's 20.
Is it every 4 degrees? It's 4, so isn't
4
it?
multiplied by your rank, yeah.
So maybe. Okay. Nah, sod him. Let's make him bleed. I'm going to do acrobatic assault, acrobatic defense, and I'm going to attack him with my rapier.
Okay.
Which is 19 with 2 6s.
And that is double his combat defense.
Oh, good. So he loses 1 AR.
Oh, well, in fact, hang on a second. No, let's think about this. I need to do the stats quickly. 4, 7. Wait, what? No. Yeah, there we go. 7, 10. It's not quite double, but it is 2 degrees of success.
Okay. In that case, he takes. Sorry, let me just get the combat. So with a brassy blade, it's agility. Is it just agility with a brassy blade? Did you double check?
Don't know. Bravo.
I don't know what fast means.
It is just agility, yes. Fast means that you can divide your attack, and you get a bonus dice on them. I think some nonsense like that.
Okay.
Don't worry about that.
So it's 8 damage anyway. 8 damage.
Okay. And yeah, defensive +1. 8 damage.
I also got my knight with me, who will probably have a go as well.
Mm-hmm. What's your knight wielding?
I always saw him as a sword and shield knight, so a longsword.
Okay.
You know?
So I want to keep it the action centered more on you. So they have a tussle, and this old guy you're trying to stop, this Manda Knight, whoever he is, Jaffrey, is like not elegantly, but quite roughly and expertly, like just dodging out the way of blows, and knows how to, like with his hands, fight for his fucking life. So it's like there's like a longsword blow comes in, and he moves out the way of the sword, tries to manipulate the wrist, and tries to get it out of the way, and tries to wrestle it out of their hand, but he kicks them back, and they separate for a second. He looks around quickly again at you, and is dodging out the way of your fencing blows. Again, he's trying to. I think he's. Actually, this is what I'll do to you, right? So he'll try and disarm you.
Okay.
So this will be. That's intrigue. Combat. So he's got to roll fighting against your passive fighting result.
Yeah.
He's got to succeed by 2 degrees.
Okay.
Which is pretty gnarly. 11 probably doesn't do that at all.
Nope.
So he again tries to go for your blade, tries to wrestle it off of you, but you're just too wily and quick. So you do that dance, get out of the way. All that muscle memory kicks in, and you dodge out of the way. It's your turn now again.
So this is how I want to do it, right? So I want him alive. I don't want him dead.
Yeah,
so what I want to do, I want to stab him in his knee so he goes down, and I want the other two to basically just wrestle him to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Roll me fighting.
Essentially, so if I want to specifically aim for a pot, is that?
If you defeat him, you can decide how he is defeated.
Right. Okay. In that case, then, he's not wielding a weapon, is he? It's his fists.
No. Just his fists.
I'm just trying to see if there's anything here that might aid. You know, I'll still do acrobatic defense because I want to be on my feet because this guy's thing, and I'll. Oh, you know what? No, I will aim, so I get a +1 on my fighting, and I will attack him.
Okay.
So I get 1+ bonus die
Mm-hmm.
to it. Want this guy down. 21.
That is
With
3
2
degrees
sixes
of
again.
success and a crit.
Okay, so he loses 1 AR, and he takes 12 damage, I believe.
So you cut at some key points, some key sewing lines across his leather jerkin, and it starts to fall and fray to the side. You literally are like disrobing him with a few Zorro swipes, right?
Yeah, I'm doing an E. And I would like the other two to wrestle him to the ground.
Yeah. And then you bring that point to his knee, cutting through the cartilage between the kneecap and the shin bone, and he screams out in pain and goes down to the floor as the other two wrestle him to the ground, shouting you, bastard.
Okay. And... Okay. Can I... So is he defeated in my eyes now? He's defeated. So in that case, I would like to just kind of look, as he looks up at me, I would smile and kind of give a gentle nod, and I want to thump him unconscious with my foot. You know, like in the movies where they just, and it's just blackout. And then tie him up, and we're leaving the village.
Okay. With that, blackout, we jump cut to the night, a night in the Tarly camp. So it's evening time, it's dark, and Miria, you get your little scene with Harris.
Yeah,
what does this
I
look
think
like?
this is maybe the night before Miria is due to leave. And it's like evening, the food and stuff has been had and everyone's winding down to sleep. And I think she pops over to his tent because I imagine they're probably in separate tents at the Tali camp. And she doesn't look particularly happy. She looks a little bit upset. But she comes in. She says, "This is my last night. I'm heading out in the morning."
You sound like you've already been defeated.
No. Just don't know what waits for me there.
Glory? Some vengeance, perhaps?
Maybe. Hopefully not a prince sitting in my seat.
Hopefully not.
Look, before I go, I wanted to give you something.
Okay.
And she in her hand, she's had in her hand the whole time. She just reached out her hand to his and opens it up, and it's her silver locket.
He looks at it for a moment and then looks up at you for a second and then looks down again, pries it open.
Nothing in there has changed since I was given. So it's a portrait of Miria when she was young and Oliver on the other side.
You want me to have this?
I want you to hold on to it for me. And then when I return, I'll take it back.
Thank you.
That I'm not really one to believe in superstition, but that has been with me through everything. And I hope that while I'm gone, a bit of its magic will rub off on you, keep you safe.
And he takes an awkward step forward and, slowly and awkwardly starts moving his face towards yours.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think they do. They have a very nice, lovely little, not a bam, a nice little soft, tender kiss.
Okay.
And then I think after a moment, she pulls back. Please be safe.
And you?
Trust in Faye. And give me something to come back to.
I'll make sure of it.
I think she kisses him again before she leaves for her own tent. But yeah, that was all I wanted to do. Little.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
I'm good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Strangely, for an episode, we'll end it on a wholesome moment.
What?
Or in true Game of Thrones fashion, I take a little bit of the reins of the narrative a little bit, and Miria walks away back to her tent crying. Sure. You can't help yourself. Just tears.
Just a little.
Just a couple of tears. Just down the face.
Yeah.
All right, and that is where we will finish up today's session, folks. Thank you so much for joining me. Tom, you found the guy.
I found the guy. I'm so glad he didn't get away, because that would have been awkward.
Not quite a butcher. I had to twist it a little bit because I will confess something to you now. I have no idea. I cannot remember where I dropped the fact that he was a butcher. No idea where that came from.
One of my spies did some research.
Gotcha. All right, cool.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, he may not necessarily been a butcher, but as a hunter, kind of works, So maybe you saw him, Either way, we got our man. Hopefully, we'll find out one way or another.
That's gonna be a fun intrigue.
We'll see. We'll see how we'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to it. I of course, it's gonna be. It didn't go as smoothly as I'd hoped. I kind of hoped he was less more of a grumpy loner kind of person and someone who would actually talk to me. But
if you just get to know him, you'll find out why.
Well, I will in the next few weeks, won't I? On our way to where we're going.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be really good intrigue to try and crack this this guy. Let's see. It's just a bit of a shame he doesn't have someone else that I could have used for, like he didn't have a family or something. That's a bit annoying.
Wow.
Leverage.
Fucking hell.
As I said, I mean, Enzo has been quite you've seen that. Oh, yeah. But at the end of the day, he is a pirate and he's had to do a lot of awful things to get where he is. So
Yeah,
you
fair.
might see a bit more of a darker side to Enzo in the new year.
Ooh.
New year, new Enzo. But it's great. It's just a lot of fun. It's just really great.
Yeah,
You know,
fair enough.
and yeah.
Most people just get a gym membership they never use.
Yeah, well, Enzo isn't most people.
Enzo got a dark side.
He's got a dark side. He's got a moody
He's edgy.
side.
So
He's
moody,
edgy.
so emo.
It's gonna start having like a fringe when we see
Yeah,
him in
that's
the
it.
new year.
Just down the eye. Starting wearing a bit more eyeliner. You know, yeah.
I like
Looking
how
at the
it's a bit
character
more
portrait, he
eyeliner.
has got that artful little curl. I'm
He
sure
does
gets
he
in the
does
way
wear
a lot.
eyeliner. He does kind of, and I don't know if it's actually there, but I always saw him wearing eyeliner.
Yeah.
I don't know if I put him in
Yeah.
I don't know if
eyeliner,
you
but he
put
should
him
be
in
in
there.
eyeliner.
Yeah, he
But
should.
yeah, he probably
Please,
does.
Susie, please draw him just a very, very quick, really bad emo fringe, please.
Yeah. Ugh. This is
Photoshop him onto somebody from a band.
This is 2022 emo Enzo.
Oh my god. And Susie, you're off to a war. You're off to the thing.
Yeah,
Soon.
gonna do a war.
Leaving your boy behind. Ooh. Sad.
Again.
Sad tear.
I like chats like, well, he's fucking dead. They're never gonna see each other again. And I'm like, no.
We'll have to see how it all legitimately plays out. Like the characters, I do not trust Jonathan Fry. So who fucking knows what plans are in store for Harris, little Harris Ball. Poor bastard.
He sent me a gif of a man with a halo on last night when I asked what plans he had. I'm like, take that off.
No.
That's not yours.
No trustworthy person ever needs to send the gif of someone with a halo.
No.
Nope.
Why are you doing that? Very suspicious.
I will never trust Jonathan Fry again if he does anything to Harris. That's it. We're done.
I've straight up told him that if he kills Faye, I'm going to haunt him in every single game. That's it. I will just turn up in his real life and murder his character for fun, and then I'll leave.
I'm not even thinking about what he has planned for when Facey returns. Like, I cannot physically think about that because my stress levels.
You're just like, nope.
No, that is future me's problem. Fuck her. She's a bitch. Current me can't think about it. I went back and I watched the scene where he's like, give a man a name. And I'm there like, and Don's there like, the whole time.
Don fucking loves it. Yeah, absolutely. Of course he is.
And yeah, just a nebulous promise of whatever he wants. That's what it was.
Well,
whatever he wants.
Susie.
You don't say that to a fucking House of Black and White assassin.
I didn't say it. Miria didn't say it. She said, what is your price? And he said, when the deed is done and I return to you, whatever I ask, you will give it. And Miria, with salt water still in her lungs and a half-drowned brain, was like, okay. Because she just learned that Alfred was dead, that Oliver was dead, that she just fucking drowned almost. So she wasn't exactly in the most, good place to be accepting deals. But again, future Miria's problem, future me problem. Got to survive a war first.
We have. Yeah.
Got to survive Ironwood. So
a juicy battle with Unky Makey.
Can we not have a juicy battle? Can it just be a really easy battle like in Bannerlord when I show up with 1,000 boys against 300 boys?
No.
Oh.
Depends if you can muster some forces in the meantime.
Yeah, well, I'm taking the Peak Boys with me. They're coming with me.
Yeah.
My knights and my infantry and my camp followers, they're coming.
Nice. All right.
And I did semi-call the banners, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah.
All right. When you're not panicking about war, where are you? What are you doing?
I will be doing my last stream on my channel for the year tomorrow on twitch.tv/Susanna Grace. And I think if I can grab folks, we will be playing Back for Blood with the Christmas update that just came out today. It's only a gig, so it's not a big download.
Easy.
So yeah, we'll shoot some Zambinis. Because it's like an end of year stream and also my birthday stream because my birthday's on Saturday. So yeah, that's where I'll be next, and then I will be nowhere
for a couple of weeks at least.
Nice. Until I'm back here again.
We all deserve a break. Speaking of deserving a break, I'm sure you do, Millie. But where can we find you whilst you're still busy?
You can find me over on Twitter, which I've actually been posting on the last 24 hours, tiny bit, maybe. Well, I say posting, replying to things mainly, but that's more active than I've been in ages. So yeah, nice. I'm there as Amelia Tyler, because that's my name. Thank you for this. This was really fun. It was nice to have like a kind of for us, like a mellow, just getting to know you. I got to meet Harris. Got another person telling me to babysit the other half, which is I should be charging by the hour at this point.
You really should, or even just a day rate. Yeah, and that means that if you have to babysit them for half an hour, you just charge the day rate. You're good.
Amazing. Yeah, let's go with that. You're now my manager. Yeah, it was really nice. And it's interesting to kind of get a read on him and to see how he reacted to the way Faye is. Because if they're going to be hanging out a bit and she's going to try and stop Samuel from sticking his stupid broadsword in him, then at least they can get on.
That's what we're calling it.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Okay.
What was it we said the other day? When
I was like, can you
when you
please
meet a Tali, the gods flip a coin. Do you lose your head or your tail? That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fight it or fuck it. That's the Samuel way.
Metaphorical and physical swords.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how that goes down. And Faye is secretly a massive romantic soft touch, so she'll be absolutely, now that she's like seen Miria touch his hand and seen her go all blushy when she talks about him, she's going to be like full on matchmaker mode.
Nice.
It's going to be silly.
Good. I'm here for
and I'm so glad that Enzo found the man with the scar. This is going to get really interesting.
Oh, it really is.
Yeah. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Hey, we might get answers.
What?
Yeah, but I'm scared of the answers. I mean, I want them, but that's another issue that I have.
Fair enough.
I just want to know if Tom and I's tinfoil is true.
I know.
Stop taunting me with this.
It would be interesting if it was. We've been
share the
talking,
tinfoil?
Sam, about
no,
not
with Millie.
Who this person is, or maybe who he got his orders from, and came up with a tinfoil that would be quite interesting. Racking our brains on who it could have been. I'm not going to say who it was, but
okay,
I will at the end of the season.
Yeah, save it for the end of the season.
So much tinfoil is going to come out at the end of the season. It's just going to be like a blooming bakery. It's just everywhere.
When you're not filling our chat with tinfoil, Tom, where are you?
I don't really stream that much anymore, but I am on Twitter. But you can check me out on Hotflakes Tom, which basically, that's where I chat and stuff. You can check me out on Discord as well in the Follow Black Cats Discord. I'm there. I'm in Susie's Discord.
We haven't mentioned Discord in ages.
We are there. That's where, if you wanna, we do have a After the Fire kind of dedicated section where you get all the juicy information, the tinfoil, the spoiler chat and stuff. If you've got interesting theories, pop it in there and people will share and love and see what they come out. It's really fascinating to see what other people are thinking. So it's a good place to be. It's a really good and fun place to be. It's not only After the Fire, it's lovely Black Cat stuff as well.
Yeah, exactly. All our stuff. Chaos Captains to Spy Game to this. Yeah, it's all there.
All lovely
Thanks, Tom. That was they're genuinely useful. Better than any of the fucking spiels we give usually.
That'll be £15.95.
I'll have a chat with James.
Okay.
It's Christmas.
How many silver stags is that?
312.
I don't know. It's about
Point
it's about
five.
13 toms. So you know.
Just 30. Well, it's one. No, it's hang on. It was 1 tom for an hour. Isn't it?
Wait, 1 tom
What?
though is only 40 copper.
40 copper, 1 tom.
40 stags was a
Great.
Thomas, I think we agree.
That's very good. I like that. Cool. All right. Well, this is going to be our last After the Fire until the new year. But Hex Crawl as well. We're having a proper week off next week. But the week after, on the 30th, I will double check. On the 30th of December, we will be having a streamed, just like family quiz night, where we're going to play a bunch of quiz rounds. Where basically people are going to invent rounds for each other, and then they are going to run them. They're going to award some points to people. So points won't mean prizes. Who fucking, we don't have anything. I don't know. You get fuck it. If it's not me, you get a destiny point. There you go. See, now you're all interested.
Oh,
I may now definitely be available.
Anyway, tune into that same time, 7 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. Eastern. And then make sure you keep your eyes peeled on Twitter and stuff like that for next year to look out for when the late pledges go up for CCC and when we are back with our games. And so I guess have a good Christmas if you celebrate it, and have an awesome time if you have some time off as well. This is the point where we usually raid somebody, and there's a high number of people on at the moment. And I usually try and throw it over to someone that is like us, a little person on the Twitch. Susie, if I can help me out here, man. Like, what do we got?
all right. While you're doing that, Sam, I would just like to shout out all our lovely viewers on YouTube and everyone that's dropping comments right now. I literally see every single comment. And I love them all, especially when it's like, oh, the scene was juicy. Because then I relive those scenes and I go, oh, yes, it was juicy. We had one actually about Auntie Dane, that whole scene at the tournament where Maria's like, hi, Auntie. And she's like, who the fuck are you? Get out of here. You're not my niece. Very juicy. So thank you, everybody who stops by our YouTube and likes that video and dings that bell and leaves a comment, because without them, YouTube buries everything, because YouTube is a hell site run by a faceless, heartless corporation where the algorithm is king. So thank you for helping us fight the algorithm. You got someone, Sam?
I do have a person, Bexy Chillin. I don't know who they are, but they're playing in English, which is always good because otherwise there's a lot of Italian and Polish going on. And it looks like they've got some kind of long-running campaign going. Frostmark. I don't know what Frostmark is, but we're going to go there anyway and find out. No, that's just the name. I need raid first. There we go. So please just say hi, give them some love. I want to throw it out to a channel that, like us, doesn't have too many live viewers. So please stick with them for a little bit at least, and hang about and give them a good time. Thanks very much, folks. Please do have a good festive period, and we will see you hopefully on the 30th if you're not too busy. Until then, take care. Bye.
Oh.